Hi, I'm Dr. Dennis Varley. We are going to talk a little about the challenges of teaching during COVID, and probably a choir is one of the most difficult of all of them. And I never thought it would happen. I thought that after 3 or 4 weeks, the choir would fall apart simply because, there would be an outbreak or whatever. But that just didn't happen. And so as the semester progressed, one of the things that really amazed me, when the choir practices in this amazing little chapel and when they're spread out 6 feet apart, we cover the entire space, not only where all of the pews are, but the altar area and the floor as well. And I have the best seat in the house. I get to sit right here in the middle of it all, and I'm surrounded by this amazingly beautiful sound every Tuesday and Thursday. The music that we program for our weekend liturgies has also had to change. Normally, I play the organ, and that is to support the sound of an entire congregation. But now that the congregation is unable to sing, because we're not supposed to be spreading those germs around, we only have a cantor. That's one person. So I have to play either the piano or the organ in a very different manner. So instead of playing big, loud hymns, I just kind of do that kind of stuff. Which is, it's pretty and it's appropriate, but it's a very different approach to what we're used to. So that's another very different side of church music, which has surfaced during COVID times.
All of the students here at DeSales have the option to apply for an accommodation through the DSO to study from home remotely. And we have a number of students that are working asynchronously, and so now we're able to live stream rehearsals, so those students can also participate, right? They just have to, they're watching a YouTube feed, so it's not on Zoom. So they have the music at home, but they can hear us rehearsing as sections, and they can sing along with the choir via the Zoom feed, and it's actually been a really great thing. They're also working on duets and trios together, so they're getting learning tracks and they're getting sheet music, and they are learning their parts individually, and then we're going to sew them together via the a cappella app. So it's taken a little bit of creativity, but I think it's actually worked out pretty well. Yeah, auditions, what do I say about that? If I could do it differently, I would. I've conducted those on Zoom and sat at the piano and put the laptop on top of the piano and just played. It takes more time because there's some lag in Zoom, but in some ways the less formal aspect is great because people feel less pressure in that vocal hearing, vocal audition, if you will, process. We don't per se have auditions here. But just getting to hear the real voice and being able to work with it when Zoom doesn't cut out has been a blessing for me to understand their needs more. I think that the atmosphere that the university has created feels safe. I think that mostly the students are taking COVID-19 seriously, and I think it's because of those two things that we are able to come together. I mean, being in a rural campus doesn't hurt. With all the space in between buildings and things like that. So I think that's been the biggest surprise for me, sort of practically speaking, is that we are still we're still able to do what we do, albeit masked with more breaks and way further apart than we normally are. But I'm glad that it's still going.